Americans are leaving the country with no plans of returning. I don't blame them. Could you? If you've been outside of the country, then you know it's no feeling like being outside the country. Even if you just went for a short amount of time, just a vacation. On the way back, you start to get that depression kicking in. You be like, man, I gotta go back. It's nothing like being outside the country. You feel free. You might feel like a whole new person. Family, you already know what to do. And if you're brand new too, thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe. And ring the post notification bell as well. Yeah, man, every time you travel, it's like all of that weight from America is lifted off your shoulders. All of that stress is really edifying. All right, family, let's get into this one.
So my boss didn't know that I was planning on moving out the country next year, which it's a year away, so why would she need to know? But she's like, oh, what are you going to do while you're out there? How are you going to find work? Work? You think I'm leaving America to go stress about a 9-to-5 somewhere else? She's like, well, how are you going to sustain yourself? And it just got me thinking, like, a lot of people don't know that you can live very comfortably, like on US dollars, you can live very comfortably in other countries. And I was like, you do know, like, rent at certain places is like $300-400 a month. Like, I'm going to save that up. I'm going to be gone for at least a year. So 12 months. So between rent, food, electricity, things like that, like, you can go somewhere else and not stress. I'm like, I'm just taking like a year siesta. And she is just so like, she just cannot believe it. Like, it's just so foreign. I'm like, yeah, you can leave America. It's fine. Y'all, my husband and I have decided that we just can't do it anymore. We decided to break our lease early and to just leave the country as soon as possible. We're thinking Vietnam initially, then Thailand. Our plan so far is to work every single day until we get over there, to use Delta points to fly there, and to use Hilton points to be able to stay at least for free for the first 3 months. While I'm there, I plan on doing English teaching online to supplement income, but I do plan on having as much money saved as possible. Just need a mental break. At first I was like, yeah, I'm just going to take a year siesta to get my life together and, you know, get my mental health together. But honestly, it's just so stressful being here. We don't know how long we want to stay gone, but we do know that we're going to travel a few countries and we want to stay gone at least 2 or 3 years now. We are literally going to turn our whole lives upside down in the next 6 months. So if y'all have any suggestions, please let us know, because at this point we're just winging it. We're just going to sell everything, leave, and just take it from there.
Sometimes you got to lose yourself to find yourself. No expectations, no upsets. That's really the best way to travel. That way you don't have any preconceived notions in your head about how a place is going to be or how it should be. Just get out there. Commit first, figure out the rest later. And I get that question a lot too. The first time I traveled outside the country was 2018. I was 20. And I got the same questions. I had the same replies back that she did. You know, it's way cheaper to live out there than it is to live here. The next thing I was told, it's not as nice there as it is here. I'm like, no, that's a lie. It's actually just as nice. Some areas are nicer. This is when I went to Thailand. I went to the Philippines, then I went to Thailand. And the Philippines got the poverty areas, but it also has the luxury areas.
Chow boys sang Vietnam. I left America 4 months ago and came here to Vietnam to find freedom. We know this. Why do I stay? Let's talk about it. First of all, I'm standing on one of the reasons right now. This is Mekay Beach, that Sun Trial Mountain behind me. The sun comes up in the morning. It's glorious. I do lives at 6 p.m. East right over there on that beach. It's absolutely glorious. Look around. Looks like Miami, don't it? Lauderdale. It's beautiful. That's where I grew up as a boy, and I love it. Nice and warm in the summertime. It don't get cold in the winter. I'm not scraping any ice here. I'm not shoveling snow like I did up north. Y'all up north right now, you know what I'm talking about. It's safe here. They do not have guns. They are not allowed in this country. Even the police do not have guns. True. They don't have mass theft in the stores. People have respect for their neighbors. Women walk alone at night with children in the streets and are unmolested and safe. And I love it. There's a peace and a harmony here. They have a respect for their neighbors. It used to be that way in the 70s when I was a boy, but things done changed. The biggest reason I'm here is the Vietnamese people. They have loved me, they have welcomed me, they have treated me like family here, and that's why I am so attached to this place. That's why y'all hear me preaching on it all day, every day. And I want to say a special thanks out there and tell you, all the haters who posted in that big post and said, don't come back, don't worry, I'm not coming back. I'm going to stay right here and rough it, y'all. Please be rest assured, I'm not coming back. If y'all want to see more real life in Vietnam, follow along. Peace and love to everybody.
It's officially been 17 months since I left America. A year and a half just flew by. When I left LA, I moved to Mexico. I spent 6 months there drawing near to God and working on myself inside and out. This journey has been deeply personal. I fasted, prayed, and cried out to God about the things I wanted to change, especially my profession. As cold as I am at makeup, I started to hate it. People will drain your energy, and I didn't want to feel trapped anymore, so I prayed and fasted to be done. When I got to my next destination, Thailand, I made a promise I wouldn't go back. I would go all in on content creation and invest in me. I've always been popular on social media, to be honest, but this time I started leading with purpose, and that made the biggest difference. I spent almost a year in Thailand building my personal brand and becoming a travel creator, something I said I would do back when I didn't even have a passport. But God gave me the vision, I showed up, I did the work, and He handled the rest. I'm really just getting started, but I've sown so many seeds into myself, into this journey. But one thing about me, I don't do complacency. In Thailand, it's been beautiful, but I've accomplished what I came here to do. So it's time for the next destination, the next goal, the next version of me. A lot of y'all are new here, and I don't talk much about my past, but before anything else, I'm a businesswoman. Business is literally my middle name. I started out selling sunglasses, then hair, lashes, purses, you name it, I've sold it. Living abroad was always about getting closer to the source, to build from the ground up. So that's exactly what I'm doing in my next country. In less than 30 days, I'm moving again. If you told me that I live in 3 countries in a year and a half, I'd say, yeah, that tracks. I predicted to, but I always go above and beyond. This life, my life, is about fulfilling the dreams God gave me when I was a little girl, and nothing will stop me but me. Day by day, I'm crushing my goals. That's what matters most to me in this lifetime. And yes, I'll still be in the travel niche because listen, girl, I'm gonna hop on a flight. But if you're new here, you're about to meet another side of me, and she's my favorite version. Hope you love her, but if not, child, I only mind the business that pays me.
I left America 6 months ago, and my life is infinitely better. Let's talk about it. First things first, I've talked about this in other videos, but it cost me around $1,000 to leave the States, which is significantly less money than I ever anticipated. And I think it's a really important thing for everyone to be talking about, that it actually costs a lot less than you might think to leave the US. Since moving abroad, these are the things that have improved in my life. First and foremost, my physical health is infinitely better. Why? The food is better. The air quality is better. I'm happier. I'm less stressed out. Medicine and healthcare is way more affordable. Like, we're talking apples and oranges. People are nicer here because they are happier here. It is significantly easier to cultivate community in a place where people are trusting and loving and empathetic and kind. And I cannot stress this enough. My central nervous system is relaxed and calm for the first time in my life.
Way happier. You'd be way happier outside of America. Stress is a part of the American culture. That's how I feel. We've always been living through adverse times. We've always been living through the worst times. Being strong is considered a stamp of honor in this country because we had to be for so long. The things that we think are normal, when you go outside the country, you realize they're not normal. All of these unalivings, all of this violence, that's not normal. People hating on you, that's not normal. I have friends in the Philippines that couldn't understand why I don't have 150 friends. They couldn't understand because I met 150 people out there. Off of meeting one person, I ended up meeting 150 people. They couldn't understand why I don't have 150 genuine friends. They couldn't understand the things I was telling them about the American culture. It was a foreign language to them. They're like, you're the first person I heard talk so negatively about America. I'm like, I'm just giving you the real. It's not what you see on TV. It's not the way they sell it to y'all. They're like, wow. But yeah, when you're outside of the country, you feel better, you happier. It's seen on your face. I remember when I would call people back at home, they'd be like, man, you talking more? I'm like, I got to because, they're talkative, they're hospitable, they friendly. Before I kind of stayed to myself, they're like, man, you happier? I'm like, yeah, most definitely. Happier, more healthy, everything. I'm flourishing.
This is your sign to leave America. Yes, girl, you can leave. You don't have to be stuck where you were born and raised at. You do not have to continue to stay there and endure the things that are going on, especially if you look like me. By that, if you know, you know. We don't have to stay there. We don't have to keep suffering. There are other countries that will welcome you with open arms. There are other countries with lower cost of living. There are other countries where you'll be able to really stretch your budget, make the most of your life, and actually live. Imagine living to live and not just to work. Are you living to work? Because I know when I stayed in the United States, I was definitely living just to work, just to continue to live. Here in KZN, South Africa, I am living my best life. In Cape Town, South Africa, living my best life. Look at these views. Leave the United States, please.
So, I left the US with no plans of returning. I literally was like, okay, I'm just gonna go. So I packed up my things. I threw away what I didn't need, and I got on a plane and I left. And here I am, just chilling on the beach right now. And I got a little friend with me. So this little pup decided they wanted to hang out with me. They were with another dog earlier and it came up and stiffed me. I was like, am I gonna get eaten right now? But she's just chilling. So a lot of people ask me, they're like, well, did you leave because of the election and, you know, the state of the US? Not necessarily. I've always wanted to leave. And kind of over the US. I've been over the US for quite some time now. But I just wanted to say there are different people in the world. There are people that will say, hey, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. And they're so excited and they talk about it and they never do it. Then there's people that are like, screw it, let's see what happens. I'm that person. Screw it, let's see what happens. I mean, life is short. Life is unexpected. You have no idea what this world is going to hand you, right? And so I've always wanted to leave for years now. And I'm like, I might as well go. And honestly, the screw it, let's see what happens tends to work out for me. May not work out for everybody, and I don't recommend it. I really don't. But I'm here and I'm enjoying this ride for as long as I can. And I will update you guys and bring you content and get back to doing lives. All right, bye. I was going to tell the puppy to say bye, but they're sleeping.
Here's why I moved to Abu Dhabi a year and a half ago. I just felt like I was getting a bit stagnant. I had already been teaching 10 years, and I've been living in Dallas my entire life, so I figured it was time for a little shift, a little shake-up. I've always wanted to move out of state in the U.S., but I was kind of too afraid to do it. I don't know how I ended up going 8,000 miles away, but was afraid to go across the country. But anyways, that's another story for another day. So yeah, I did it, and I feel like this was the best decision of my life. I've accomplished a couple of things like losing weight, saving more money, just upping my quality of life, meeting people, creating different connections, being exposed to different things that I wouldn't have been exposed to if I would have stayed in America. So I'm going to say that this is one of the best decisions I ever could have made for myself, and also one of the scariest decisions I could have made for myself. So yeah.
I agree. The quality of life that you get is top tier and is unmatched. Here, you need about $6,000 to $10,000 a month just to be average. Out there, as soon as you touch down, put your feet on the ground, you get richer with that USD. Your money multiplies. Unless you're going to the UK or something like that. But the travel destinations that people are going to, like Philippines, Thailand, Bali, we could even talk about Sri Lanka. I'm going to just say the whole Southeast Asia, Mexico, when you touch down in the continent, you know, in Africa. We could talk about pretty much any country where your dollar multiplies. You get the buying power of 4x, 3 to 4x. Those are the countries where you basically live in luxury on a budget.
All right, I'm going to keep it real with y'all, and I'm going to be very transparent. So I've been traveling back and forth from China to America since 2019. And when I post these videos about China, you know what I'm saying, I'll go off of my experience for the last 5 years because, you know, going to China for 7-8 months and then coming back to America for 4 or 5 months, then going back to China for another 8 months. Every time I was doing this, things would change. Like, for example, I'll go to China, come back to America feel like it got worse. Then I'll go back to China and I'll feel like China got even better within a short period of time. Honestly speaking, y'all, I'm not trying to leave America because I can't afford it, because I can do whatever I want here. If I really want to live here and buy a house, buy a car, I can do all that. I bought a Mercedes cash, sold it within 2 years, bought another car, sold it, went back to China. My credit score is decent. So I have every right to live here if I really want to, but me being able to experience a whole nother lifestyle in China, it just made me feel like all this stuff here isn't really worth it to me. I guess I fell in love with the fact how I'm able to save way more money being in China. Because if you know, the game is income versus expenses. If your expenses is higher than your income, you're never going to save money. And this is why a vast majority of people can't save money in America, because they have too much expenses. They have cars, food, Like, bro, you have to live your life. Nobody's not finna save every single dollar here. So I go to Asia, I barely have any expenses. All my expenses is in America. Like, when I'm in China, I don't have to really pay for much. You know, so I'm in China, I'm paying rent in China, but I'm also paying rent back in America too, because I didn't get rid of my apartment here. So I'm like, even though I'm in China, I still have way more expenses in America and I'm not even there. What's the point? So like I said, you gotta win the game of income versus expenses. If your income is higher than your expenses, you always gonna be able to save. You're gonna have money left over.
Look at this. Assalamu alaikum. Why would I choose this piece? Go back to America where everybody's sitting up, gang banging, running around in 90-degree weathers with ski masks on. Why would I leave this? Why? For what? What? Like, let me know. Somebody, like, let me know. Why would I choose to go back into a toxic situation like this and I'm here? Nobody got guns. You don't hear no gunshots. You don't hear no crazy music. Why would I go back? Are y'all crazy? You get these messages, when you going back? What? Never. What, are you crazy? Y'all stuck on stupid, man. All in my DM talking about when you going back. Ain't you ready to go back? For what? I mean, y'all crazy. That's the problem. Y'all nuts, man. Stuck on stupid. Y'all the problem. You know, yeah, I figured it out.
When you going back? Never. That's everybody plan too. Believe it or not, everybody plans to leave and never come back. It's devastating when you gotta come back. The plan is to not come back. My boy said, are you crazy? Right, are you crazy? Why would I return? The air smell different. Even the air different. The people are warmer. The food, let's talk about the food. They got the real food. It's not GMO food. It's not cloned food. It's not lab-grown meat. Let's talk about all the herbs. They got the real medicines, like Jamaica, the continent, of course. Japan, even. These are the places people go. Doctors have failed them, and they go out there and they get healed. America ain't nothing but a folk tale.
I feel that it's shocking how important it is to get prepared to leave the country. If that's something that you're interested in doing, if you believe that you can survive in the United States as an independent person without the need for the others, then stay, by all means. But I believe that if you're interested in getting out, I think it's time to start getting yourself together to get out. I left. I'm here today, and I've been here for a month because I had to take care of some business. But for the most part, I live in Panama. And Panama has been absolutely amazing to me. It's just been one of the best experiences that I've had. I've been able to heal my body, my soul, my spirit. I left on January 1st because I saw what was coming down the pike. I saw the madness that was going to happen in this country. And the result is I left. And I am, like I said, I come back on occasion, but for the most part, I live in Panama. But if you're interested, I just put the link in bio. So it's the second link in the bio so that you'd be able to use the app to at least do the checklist. It's absolutely free. Do the checklist to make sure that you have everything that you need, or that you're aligning your thinking with everything that you need to actually do the things that need to be done. Again, as you'll see, the checklist has time frames for having to have the ability to do it. In essence, how long will it take for you to do this, that, the other? And it's really clearly laid out. It's really systematically laid out so that you can get yourself together to get out of this country if that's what you want to do.
Yo, what's up, family? Look, I got a question for you. Have you ever dreamed of living outside of America? Have you ever lived outside of America for an extended amount of time? Months or years even? If so, drop it in the comments below. Let me know, how was it for you? Let me hear your experience. Let me hear, do you plan on going back? Do you plan on leaving the country forever? Meaning America, do you plan on getting out and leaving America behind? Let me know, fam. Peace to my Hebrew family. Shalom. I'll catch y'all later.